Shri Shri Ras Viharini Ju Ki Jai Ho. Sab Vaishnavan ko Sadar Saprem Sadenya Sananda Jai Shri Krishna. Today is day 43, letter 15, verse number 1. Letter 15 is called Remembrance, Association and Refuge. Each of the verses in this letter commences, always remember. And the first verse reminds us this remembrance removes all anguish from the devotee's life. The rest of the verses guide our remembrance and encourage us on the devotional path. The 15th letter reveals how to inquisitively recall the Lord and his pastimes. The previous letter instructed us to perfect our path by surrendering at Sri Acharyaji's lotus feet in the company of great devotees. This letter tells us how. Verse 1. Whomsoever the Lord has accepted is free of anguish and always happy in the constant remembrance of the eternal blissful one. Tika 1. Sri Acharyaji cannot bear to see his devotees feel any sadness, and so he relieves them and grants them bliss. Verse 2. Always remember that Sri Krishna, who, seeing his devotees burning with the fever of separation from him, became amazed and quickly manifested. Tika. Number 2. From the moment an embodied soul becomes separated from the Lord, it stumbles around suffering birth and death in the 8,400,000 species burning in the fire of mundane existence. Even though a soul may be divinely oriented, it can forget its humble attitude of service and the Lord's form and become grief-stricken in the worldly flow. Seeing this, Sri Thakurji was struck by their sorrow and struggle. He became dismayed and mercifully decided to manifest out of fire into Sri Vallabhacharyaji's form. In this manifestation, he has relieved those divine souls from endless lifetimes of grief. Thus, he is known as compassionate to the devotees and should always be remembered as such. Verse 3. Always remember that Sri Krishna, an ocean of grace, who makes sure that those who serve him never place their loyalties elsewhere. Tika 3. The Lord, appearing in the form of the Giriraj mountain, personally accepted the devotees' offerings so that they would not make obeisance elsewhere. When Sri Nandaraji worshipped the goddess Ambika, he was punished, and that changed his mind. In the same way, Sri Acharyaji ensures that his followers put no faith in any godhead other than Sri Krishna, withdraw their loyalties from everywhere else, and take shelter in Sri Krishna. Sri Krishna is an ocean of mercy, and when he accepts such souls, he never ever again lets them go. Such is his blessing. In the 9th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Lord says to Durvasa, I am really not independent, but fully obligated to my pure devotees who have captured my heart and very dear to me. Thus, the Lord, who is very kind to and very close to his devotees, therefore constantly remember Sri Acharyaji's lotus feet, which engender this one-pointed devotion to the Lord. Verse 4. Always remember Sri Krishna, who resides in the devotees' hearts and disrupts their false attachment to wealth, etc., and whose mercy allowed him to be tied at the waist by his mother. Tika 4. Sri Krishna is in the heart of every living being, so what to speak of his dear devotees? However, the embodied souls can often get attached to sensual activity, eating, drinking, bodily pleasures and worldly joys and values, whilst forgetting the Lord. Sri Krishna kindly allowed himself to be tied at the waist with a rope by his mother. So a devotee should always remember this beautiful Sri Krishna and Sri Acharyaji, who are one and the same. Verse 5. Always remember that Sri Krishna, to whom the gopis are as dear as life itself, who engages in secret pastimes with them like hide and seek and other games. Tika 5. Sri Krishna secretly grants his nectar form to the gopis. Even Sri Yashoda and Sri Nandaraji and the other gopas are unaware of this. The gopis are as dear to Sri Krishna as life itself. Sri Krishna tells Sri Uddhavji in the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, these gopis' minds are fixed on me. Their life breath depends on me, and I am their very life force. They have renounced all selfish consideration and social interaction for my sake, and so I nourish them. They surrender their body, mind and life force to Sri Krishna and renounce all worldly, Vedic and righteous considerations for him. Therefore they are dearer to him than life itself. The Lord is full of kindness. Sri Uddhavji states in the 3rd canto, the demoness Putana put poison on her breast and came to the infant Sri Krishna with the intention of killing him with it. Still he granted her the destiny deserved by a mother. To what to speak of how kind he is to those who love him. If he can grant such a destiny to a poison demoness, what to speak of those who lovingly offer him various preparations? He is dedicated to them. So to these most beloved gopis he secretly grants the blissful union of his nectar form, playing the rasa dance and other loving pastimes with them. Always remember this nectar form of Sri Krishna. Aaj ke Anand ki jai. We will pause here until tomorrow. Shri Hari Rai ji ki jai. Shri Vallabhacharya ji ki jai. Sab Vaishnavan ko jai Shri Krishna. Shri Shri Ras Viharini Ju Vijayate.